Hello, fellow Fumblers, and welcome to another episode of Film Fumblers podcast where a few friends fumble through your favorite films. Today, we are continuing, kind of, but next week is different, not really, our holiday run with The Nightmare Before Christmas. And contrary to popular belief, this was directed by Henry Selick and not Tim Burton.
Oh, wow.
But we're going to get into that later. My name is Jay, and it's been a while, folks.
Hi.
Welcome back, Jay. My name is Taryn.
Hey, it's James. We're back. We're back with some of the OGs, some of the original crew cast. Adrian on the beach somewhere in South.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's South Dakota, San Diego. He's definitely not in South Dakota. There's no beaches there, but yeah.
The famous South Dakota beaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like the beach water park here in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Dude.
No longer exists.
I miss that.
Oh, Tingley Beach exists, which is basically just
You've been there?
Not
It's
like
actually
shit.
like sandy. What is it? What the fuck is it?
No,
Water park?
it's a lake. I don't know. It's not even a lake, but it's like a pond.
It's a pond.
Yeah, it's a pond.
They just blocked it
People
off and made you
fish
pay
there.
to get in. Oh, really? You can
Yeah.
fish there? Oh shit.
You can.
They stock it. I
Yeah.
think technically you're not supposed to keep them, but people keep them all the time. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
Very
right when you
weird.
walk in, it's just like no alcohol, and then like when you walk into it, there's like little primos with their little like coolers, and they're all
Igloo
drinking
cola.
Bud Lights and chilling.
With koozies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah.
Are we shooting?
Oh, we're
Shooting
shooting.
McGavin?
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've shot in this show.
We had a 30-minute pre-show, which is kind of rare for us because
apologies.
we've been hold on, I gotta show you guys the fish cup.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's cool. Is that handmade?
Handmade by my wife,
Nice.
Truly. Her name's not Truly, but Truly she did this. Cheers.
Cheers.
And I spilled half the shot, but there's still some in there, so
Oh my god.
we're all good.
Ooh.
Crown is not
Crown is
great.
rough, man.
It is. Okay. Any baggage with this fucking movie? Does it bring up the good times? Does it bring up the bad times? How you guys
Baggage?
like?
I feel like your
You mean,
answer is
like,
bad
was-
times because you brought that up. Why?
Is any of us emo? Is that what you're asking? Like,
Yeah, or like, okay. You see, you're already going on the
Okay,
path that I was
alright.
going on. Like
Well,
my
you know.
baggage with this movie is like, it always pissed me off as like a emo dissident, right? Like, because back in the day we were all like fucking hater metalhead, fucking that emo shit, fucking whack, like, you know. And so like
Yeah.
this was like every
This was the mainstay, dude.
this was the every emo
staple.
girl's like go to.
They had a Jack
Which was,
Johnson beanie or
like-
some shit on at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely knew a lot of people that were like hard on the Nightmare Before Christmas merch train, and like that was their
Yeah.
identity, but it was never my identity. And
Yeah.
did
Did it
I think
piss
it's
you
just
off?
weird. Did it piss me off? No, not really. I didn't really care.
Just me.
But-
Yeah.
I think it's just because we were, you know, this movie came out the year that I was born. I guess you two are not. You're a year before me, but you know, and it was not like immediately successful, right? Which is kind of interesting.
Oh,
So there was this kind of big gap where it just, you know, people put like 2 years of their lives into it, and then it came out and people were like, what the fuck is this? Like nobody really knew what the fuck was going on. This was the first stop motion feature ever made, which is kind of weird.
really?
Yeah,
Holy fuck.
feature length
Is that real?
ever made.
Real true?
Yep. World's first, real true. And
Wow.
nobody really knew what to make of it because a lot of the things are kind of like grotesque and, you know, not kid friendly. And in the
Yeah.
90s, like animation was like a kid's thing.
Edgy,
And
right?
yeah. And so us as people, the three of us here growing up, had this gap where we were born and this movie had been out and it kind of was whatever. And then it just had this like crazy resurgence.
Mhm.
And popped off. And so by the time we were like of age to like realize things, everybody was rocking this shit. But it was like, 10, 15 years after the movie had been out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think for us, it's a different thing. It's kind of a weirder take than those who were like people in movies at the time would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, I feel like I liked it before all the emo shit. So like when that shit was happening, I was just like, whatever, like that's cool, I guess. So like it was kind of cheesy, honestly, that they liked that so much.
Yeah,
like it wasn't.
totally.
Yeah. My sister was like, I think maybe that's the reason why, because like when you're young, you don't ever get along with your siblings, right? Now it's like, okay, I love you, my sister, but back then it's like you want to kill them and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she had like the
Wow.
whole.
That was not what I thought you were gonna
say. I mean, it's just the truth. So why we don't sugarcoat. Yeah, but like she has like the whole. I think she has like a whole mini tree that's like Nightmare Before Christmas theme. Think so. Yeah, she has like all kinds. She had all kinds of that shit. The little slippers. She had slippers that were the Zero dog, which are pretty dope.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. Am I making that up? They were either Zero or Oogie Boogie. Either way, they're both a good idea.
Yeah.
How did you feel, Taryn? What were your thoughts against that?
Yeah, I don't know. Look what I just said. I already liked it, so it was like whatever. I don't know. Like there was just like I guess it's.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was just like, it's kind of lame. It's like a kids movie. Why are these guys so into that shit or whatever? But it's whatever. Because I already had liked it. But I've made like if it makes me think of like what you're talking about, James, but with like certain animes, like Death Note specifically.
Oh,
that's the kind of shit. Like in high school, I was like, "Oh, you like that shit? That is so lame." And then I finally watched it, and I was like, "Wait, it's actually really good."
Death was like one of the greatest.
Like the new age version.
Yeah.
But for Nightmare Before Christmas, I didn't really notice it, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just like the thought of Nightmare Before Christmas, because like they're like, especially growing up, there was like a very split view of holidays. Like Christmas fucking sucked and Halloween's the best. Like there's those
as
people.
A kid or
as
at
a
all
kid.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. And then this was like both worlds like colliding, which was like
so interesting still, dude.
Yeah,
so
interesting
cool.
to see because those are like there's some people who just don't fuck with Halloween. And then some people who just don't fuck with Christmas, but they love Halloween. Like, or like,
it's like the jolliest holiday and like the most like spooky holiday.
The edgy holiday.
There's a great juxtaposition of those worlds, right?
Yeah.
And it was interesting that it worked so well. But like I think so. I've always had this opinion about. Okay, well, before I jump into that, let me just back it up. I like breaks real quick. Yeah. The feelings that I have towards this movie now are very different than the feelings that I had towards it, like say in high school or like when the emo days were happening.
Yeah. I think we all
can say it's mainly because of Sophia. Like this is the first movie that she has become obsessed with. It's one of the only movies or only things on TV that she'll sit and watch from beginning to end. And like be completely glued. She knows all the characters, like she knows everything. And she's like gonna be 2. Like she's, and it's crazy because it's
emo girl.
Well, that's part of me is like, what's about to happen? But we got her. Well, we got the mini Jack tree, whatever, just a mini Christmas tree with all the characters, right? And we put it up for Halloween, and we just kind of left it up throughout until now, right? It's what's today, December 12th, and we were gonna put it away. We were like, this will be like our Halloween tree. We'll put it on the fireplace. And she freaked out. She was like, "Fuck no! You're putting that away? Fuck no!" So we had to literally move it into her room. That's where it is now, because she would not let us put it away. She's like,
that's the best.
She's a Jack diehard. Like any skeleton to her is Jack.
Dude, that's what's so crazy.
What level?
Like Halloween, we were putting up decorations at your house for that party.
Yeah.
All these like weird, spooky, fucking decorations and stuff. She was helping me, and I'll just be like, pull out something, and she's like, Jack, like this creepiest looking skeletons, like the weirdest shit, and she'd be like, oh, it's Jack. And I'm just like,
dude, there was
okay.
There was a
That's so
decoration.
cool.
There was a decoration that you hang, like a hanging decoration. It was a skeleton that kind of looked like a Dementor from Harry Potter, like tattered robe, gold face and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, Jack," and she put it in her little like pink stroller and like rolled it around the backyard. It was the weirdest thing. Like, and she's not afraid of skeletons anymore because of it, which is like has been a plus,
dude.
Yeah,
and
honestly, I think that's a good idea.
To plug our what is that thing called? Voodoo Ranger short.
The Voodoo Ranger.
She showed up for one of the filmings or one of the shootings or whatever, and then Ryan was wearing the mask, and she was just like, "Oh, it's Jack! Like, holy shit! Like, he's walking around and shit. Like, she didn't care."
Yeah.
So
well,
weird.
that was the genesis of her fear of skeletons going away, because she was afraid of him at first because she didn't really get what was going on. And I was like, "Oh, that's just Jack," and she was like, "Oh," and then she loved it, But there was like
the way she says it.
point
oh
of
my
fear.
God. Yeah.
So very different relationship with this, because it's on like 3 to 6 times a week in our house. Like that, I see this movie fucking so often. Dude,
you didn't even have to rewatch it for the.
I rewatch, yes, all the time, and we have the book, the like Golden Classics children's book version. That we have, it must be read to her every night or she will not go to sleep. God. So like my whole world is consumed by this fucking shit, but I don't feel any animosity towards it.
Oh my God, like, dude, I would die. I would die inside.
I thought that I would feel that way,
only
but
80 minutes. Like, at least
it's very short. It's very short, and there's a lot to love here. But I think for me, it's because I see the way that she loves it, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, you could be into worse things, like Coco Melon and all this bullshit children shit that's on Netflix and streaming shit. It's terrible. Paw Patrol, all this shit is garbage. At least she's into something that's half decent. At least she's into someone who was part of fucking Oingo Boingo before. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know what? Wow, that's crazy, because when we were for Thanksgiving, we were in Houston, and those kids watch the same I've watched Frozen like fucking 5 times, and I'm like,
it could be Frozen, Jay.
I'm like, I mean, whatever.
And it
Frozen,
might be soon enough. I like Frozen.
Whatever,
she likes Olaf, but she doesn't. She won't sit and watch Frozen. She'll only watch Olaf. And there's a series of Olaf shorts that are actually really funny. That she'll watch occasionally, but that's it. Like, it doesn't go beyond that, thankfully, so far.
That's
I don't know.
Funny.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, dude, my grandma was watching her. She told us, she's like, yeah, we watched Jack 2 times in a row. And she was like, I was like, why did you do that? She's a baby, just don't do that.
Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't do it.
But they did it.
I guess that's another plus for me, honestly, is that this is not parenting advice. I would never recommend just sitting your kids in front of the TV and like having the TV babysit your kid. But like when those instances come up of like Jordan and I have to get something done and we just can't like attend to her for like an hour, we just throw on this movie and she's good for like an hour. It's perfect. It's perfect. So and that's not like an often thing that we do, but like it's nice that that's an option. So I guess
back pocket.
Yeah, me, exactly. Jack is a kind of he's a angel helper. Yeah, exactly. He helps me out.
He helps me out.
Jack is
so funny, dude.
But that was like I'm sorry, that was a long tangent. Back to where we began with the conversation, kind of leading with this idea of Halloween and Christmas colliding.
Mm-hmm.
I've always looked at this movie as a Christmas movie, because while the characters are kind of centered around Halloween, and there's moments, it's mostly in Halloween Town or whatever it's called. It's kind of more about Christmas, just like on the surface, right? You go deeper and you see that it's more about someone who's kind of tired of the normal routine and looking for something new and refreshing, and I think everybody can kind of relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always viewed this as more of like a Christmas time thing, and I think that in my mind, my theory was that this movie was made for and by like outcasts, right? Largely. Sorry, I'm like burping now. And it's, I don't know. We talk about the people who are super into Christmas are probably not into Halloween.
Isn't that like a Tim Burton theme? Like just movies about being a fucking
about outcasts,
weirdo
for sure.
And an
yes,
outcast.
100%.
Nobody understands you except for My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. But how many? I try to think about it like this: how many outcast type people felt that way about Christmas, where like they were not necessarily welcome or like
that's like
involved.
the family holiday, and they're probably already uncomfortable around their family.
Yeah, exactly. And this was like, hey,
or they had like this
can be
dysfunctional family kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. And this was just a window of like, hey, this can be for everyone, and like here's how polar opposites.
Yeah.
Put them together.
But okay, so like the sad part about the whole movie is that he wanted to change, but it just wasn't possible because it's not who he was. Is that sad or is that reaffirming?
That's
to never change or to continue to work on yourself. That's where I struggle with it because it's like it's like he was never going to be able to change, which is like sad because I think people have the capacity of change, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But like in the end, it was just basically like, no, you're this fucking Halloween fucking ghoul. You can't do
like
Christmas
happy at the end, right? I mean,
yeah.
Maybe maybe reaffirming and like, I don't know.
I mean, and he is the best at what he does, right? Like he is the best at what he does, but like it's weird to me. Like I don't know. I just think like it's very much like a real thing. Like it's like you can never branch out because this is who you are, and when you do, everything gets fucked up. But like Sally eventually like saves him. Sally's the best character, by the way. She's like so underrated, I think. Because Jack, even at the end, like I don't know. I feel like he didn't learn enough. I don't know. like I feel like Sally's character arc and like her wanting to branch out, but also having like a good head on her shoulders to like balance. I don't know. I'm going way too different.
I
100%.
Yes.
I 100% agree.
Is it sad or is it happy ending? I want to say.
I mean, they're happy.
Sad.
He's like reinvigorated. He's happy again. Like I don't know. Maybe he just needed that other perspective to appreciate his own normal thing.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like for Jack. I don't know if that's what I would necessarily take from it, but for that character, for sure.
For his character, I'd agree.
Okay. Are you guys interested in seeing this revisited in a different door?
As a kid, I wanted that so bad. But now I'm like,
like a different holiday?
Like, you know how like there's all the different holiday doors? Do you want to see? Like maybe what if it was like a short Christmas special? Like a short special 45 minutes.
I would watch it, but like don't. But don't. Disney, don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I was actually thinking about that while watching it. I was like, how has there not been a fucking sequel to this movie, dude? Like, there's like 5 other doors that they could just make something out of, and like,
honestly,
appreciate that so much.
God
I appreciate that so much.
That it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
That it's standalone and it's so fucking like culturally like important, I guess. Like, and they just left it alone. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Honestly, but that's amazing that happened. I agree.
As Jack Skellington.
Oh fuck! God, live action because they don't want to fucking deal with the stop motion anymore.
With Tim Burton's wife as Sally.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, what's her name? Bonham Carter, Helena.
Yeah, Helena.
I agree 100%. I think if there's a problem I have with this movie, it is that they kind of paint it as like, well, you know, this is the thing that Jack is good at, and it's the only thing that he should and could do.
Yeah.
I think
that's up the other thing so bad. It's just like,
and like And that's like for me that's fucking sad, because then it's like kind of like, why try to do anything else if you're just gonna fuck it up? It's okay
Yeah.
to be just like mediocre at something, like what it kind of felt like at the end. Or like, well, I
Right.
mean, he's the best at Halloween, but like he like almost made Christmas for his like little town and like for
Yeah.
everyone, but they just had
Yeah.
like a warped perception of it. And
True.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna be upfront. Half
ahead.
of the shit that I'm gonna say is just regurgitation of this series on Netflix.
Oh, is
But
there?
Well, the
There-
movies
it's
that
like a-
made us or whatever.
Yeah, movies that
Oh,
made
I haven't
us.
seen any of that, and I think it'd be so interesting. There's an elf one too.
It's
Oh, there's an elf.
it's,
Oh, we just talked about this last week. An
Yeah.
elf one, huh?
the editing of the series is annoying. I'm just gonna be upfront, but the series itself is pretty good. In relation to this, there's an interesting thing that like Danny Elfman as a person, who, for those that don't know, he wrote all the music and he sang Jack's parts, but he
parts, yeah.
didn't speak Jack's role. He
Lines.
did speak Jack's role in the lines, but then they changed that later. And he was a little hurt about that, but whatever. He's saying all of the singing is still his. So basically, he was in this rock band in the 80s or whatever called Oingo Boingo. They've had a few hits and whatever. And when he wrote the music for this movie, it was the first score he'd ever done. He was introduced to Tim Burton through a friend of a friend, and like
Wait, I thought Edward Scissorhands came out before this. Didn't he do the music for
Oh,
them?
he did do. No, you're right. He did do
Is
that.
that right?
But when he was asked to do music for movies, basically, he was just like, I don't do that. Like, I'm in a rock band, right? And so
Okay.
when this opportunity came up, like I think honestly, I don't know the timelines very well. I think you're right about the movies coming out, but from that series, they talked about how
Well, stop motion could have been like it's like a fucking
took
10-year,
years.
10-year
Yeah.
idea for it to come
It
to
took years.
fruition,
Edward
you know?
Scissorhands just
And when
happened
he
to
was
come out
offered,
before or something.
exactly.
Yeah.
When he was offered the role, he was just like, immediately was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And his manager or whatever at the time was like, well, then you tell Tim Burton that you don't want to do it. And so he looked at the phone and he was just like, I can't do it. Maybe I do want to do it, right? And so when he started trying to figure out, like, you know, what is the story about, what's happening, and he realized that like Jack and him, Danny Elfman, were kind of very similar in that, you know, Jack is the Pumpkin King and he was the lead singer of this rock band, and he was like, in this world you're kind of the king of your own little world, and he didn't really want to be in the band anymore, and he was like kind of trying to figure out what to do next. And so a lot of the songs and a lot of the like lyrics to Jack's parts are like just Danny Elfman kind of putting himself out there with the thoughts that he had at the time. And it's just like he felt like they kind of hit a point where they weren't really going to get any bigger, and that the kind of routine of like, going out and people cheering and shit was just like not something that he was that interested in anymore. Started to like really mesh and meld with Jack as a character. And so he basically wrote, so the music was written first. There was no script. This is like a very,
he wrote the lyrics too, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
When they organized the production company who was going to make this movie, they got a studio, they got everybody hired, they did all this shit, they were ready to go, and there was no script. And so they were like, what the fuck do we do? And the guy that they hired to write the script initially was this guy, Michael McDonald, who wrote Edward Scissorhands, apparently was addicted to cocaine. So he took the money they gave him to write the script and he spent it all on cocaine and fucking blew it up his nose. And he didn't write anything.
Shit.
There was nothing. There was zero. He got fired, right?
Oh
And
my
so
God.
Henry
The
Selick was
80s,
like,
brother.
Yeah.
Henry Selick was like, what do we do? What do we do? How do we begin? Like, we're ready when we have nothing to do. And so Danny Elfman was like, let's start with the music. Let's just start with the songs. We know it's a musical. We know that we need these music. We know the story. Like, let's just, how much of that can we tell through music? And so they started with the music, and Danny Elfman just kind of realized, like, holy shit, I am the Pumpkin King in some ways, right?
Yeah.
And it's so powerful. I feel like the music
That's
carries
awesome.
this movie.
It does. I mean,
yeah,
dude. Like, I love that. Just real quick, that his singing voice and the talking voice isn't super different. Like, it sounds like the same person.
Yeah, they're not totally different. I don't think I would have noticed unless I looked up the cast and stuff.
But these songs are iconic, dude. Like,
Yeah,
every song, even now, I haven't seen this movie in 10 years probably. I'm just like, holy fuck. I remember every fucking word.
I hadn't seen it in a while, and every time the next song came on, I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this song, this other song,
banger after banger, dude.
Yeah, what's the best one? Which one's the best one?
Oh, for me, it's What's This? Or if you want to be sad about it, it's this official song. I listened to the soundtrack earlier today. It's called Jack's Lament. It's
so when he's singing
like, and I grow so tired of the same old things. It's that song.
That's a good one.
It's a great song.
Yeah, I like Making Christmas because it's just like so ridiculous.
Yeah, I like What's This and Halloween, or This Is Halloween, or whatever. That shit's so good, dude.
Yeah, iconic.
Yeah.
It's good.
Dude, that's crazy. Okay, so when did they start making this movie? Because these timelines are getting fucky.
It took 2.5 years ish.
Because he did the soundtrack for Batman 1989, bro.
Yes.
The classic Batman theme song that's in the show and everything. It was Danny Elfman.
Seal?
No.
That's right.
That's a different movie.
It's complicated.
I know, but what about Seal?
What about Seal?
Seal wrote it.
Kiss on a what is it? Kiss a rose?
Kiss by a rose. That's
so the history there is that basically the reason that Tim Burton didn't direct this is because he was off directing the sequel to Batman, which did the first one did very well.
He did Batman's Returns and then Batman Forever in 1995.
Exactly. And so they basically were like, hey, do whatever you want and make another one. And so he was like, okay, I'm going to go do Batman.
Animated movie.
Well, that's what's interesting. There's so much drama on this movie, dude. It's crazy.
What is Adrian's, the one quote he wanted us to say? Does anyone remember? Let me see if I can find it.
It's basically that Tim Burton had no...
Yeah, he didn't do enough. He didn't do enough for the movie.
Let me read it. Please let them know that I feel strongly about Tim Burton's lack of involvement during production. That is all. Thank you.
Yeah. So there's a comment in the chat about, did you know Tim Burton worked for Disney? He wrote a poem while he worked at Disney. So the ideation of the characters in this movie and Nightmare Before Christmas were like drawings of Tim Burton's. He himself was like an outcast. He didn't fit in with the rest of the Disney animators. He was an animator there early on.
Right. Whatever. We talked about this on Edward Scissorhands, I think.
Yes, we've definitely had
this is all
some of
coming
these conversations.
Back to me. Yeah.
So basically what happened is he had this idea for Nightmare, and I guess he pitched it or he submitted it to Disney in some way. And then he left to go do other shit. Edward Scissorhands, Batman, etc. And he popped off, became like a big person. And he had to go back to Disney and be like, hey, I would like to buy my own shit back from you. So they owned the rights to Nightmare for some reason, whatever. This is like 80s.
I was going to say, didn't I just watch this on Disney Plus?
Yeah. No, it's bullshit. But what ended up happening was that they were like, well, instead of that, like, how about we just fund it and help you make it? And they, this was after he had success. It was like classic Disney move of, you're making money, we would like to make more money. And so they helped him make Nightmare. And as they were going through this process, like when the release came out, they were like, okay, let's show it to kids, like a test screening, but just kids. And the kids were like, we don't know what the fuck just happened. And so they were like, well, this doesn't seem like a kid's movie. Let's not release it under Disney. So they changed the name to Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, even though Tim Burton himself was not that involved.
So they did it for fucking...
as
an ad, basically.
But they released it under Touchstone, which is a subsidiary of Disney.
Doesn't it say
initially
Disney's Tim Burton's now?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So this guy's
they released it in a touchstone.
It's
there's a lot of drama here, dude. It's crazy. The movie comes out. It's not very well received. Nobody knows really what to make of it. Blah blah blah. They're in Tokyo. Okay, all these cast and crew that Tim Burton works with often are in Tokyo for the release of Willy Wonka, the one with Johnny Depp, and they go to a toy store for a PR thing or whatever, and there's a shitload of Nightmare stuff that they've never seen. Tim Burton has never seen. Merch, figurines.
This is like early 2000s when the movie come out. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening? And they realize that there's like this huge resurgence of people who are very into Nightmare Before Christmas, and all this merch is coming out and all this shit.
Right? Emos.
Yeah, exactly. And Disney is like, comes knocking on the door and it's like, hey, we realize we can make a lot of money by merchandising the fuck out of Nightmare Before Christmas. We would like to rebrand it as Disney's Nightmare Before Christmas, blah, blah, blah. So then it went away from being a Touchstone thing and back into being a Disney thing. It's like so fucking, it's insane, but it's basically because it became popular. So it's now officially back as a Disney whatever, but it wasn't released that way.
It never,
it wasn't really Tim Burton's.
I never felt like it was a Disney movie until like recently.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Maybe they fucking their advertising or whatever worked. Their fucking shit.
Yeah, I mean it. To be fair, like Disney is the reason the movie was made, but they kind of they did a lot of fucky things.
So the Tim Burton thing. What did he kind of like gave an outline for the story and left? What happened?
It was literally drawings.
He had the drawings
of the characters, and there was a poem called Nightmare Before Christmas. That was like the genesis of that.
Okay.
And he basically was like, hey, turn this into something, to Henry Selick, right? And so they go off and they try to do shit, and Tim Burton would show up like a couple times, 3 to 10 times during the production of the movie. And one time, which is something that was documented in this series, he basically walked in, and the original ending, or one of the endings that was going to be made, was that Oogie Boogie was actually Dr. Finkelstein inside the Oogie Boogie thing, like Scooby-Doo-esque, type of deal. And Tim Burton like read it. Apparently, he walked in, he read that, and he literally turned around and kicked a hole in the wall of the studio, and was like, "This is garbage. Like, this is change, whatever."
Be bad.
And so the next day, they came into the studio, and somebody wrote, "Tim kicked a hole here above the hole that he kicked," and they cut out the drywall and framed it, and like that was
awesome.
There. Like,
that is awesome.
Like, these are the contributions
that is his contribution.
He made.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
Why so mad?
He was
that was his thing, right? I mean,
well, that's a garbage fucking ending. If you're
it's like a Wizard of Oz kind of man behind I don't know,
curtain. Yeah,
he was very touchy about it for whatever reason. I mean, it's good for good reason. So that was kind of the role that he played, was basically saying no to shit. Like he didn't really do anything else.
Yeah,
dude, that's what's crazy. Is like, this is Tim Burton, like the Tim Burton movie, isn't it? Like, if you think about it, like, people would say this is the Tim Burton movie, and he didn't do shit. Let's kick a hole.
Totally. I mean, he creates the style. I
guess so, yeah.
And he generated the look and all that.
Yeah.
And when they were building Halloween Town, he was like, "You need to burn this down because everything needs to be black, white, and orange, and that's it." He was like, "That's my rule," and that's the like extent of his shit. And that's why when Disney was like, "This isn't for kids, it's Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas," that's when it got renamed. And everybody that worked on it, especially Henry Selick, was like, "Well, that's fucked up because we made this happen and you're just slapping his name on it."
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But when you have like such a specific like artistic direction for something, it's something that's never like really been like explored like that, I don't really have a problem like giving Tim Burton like the credit of it, even though like Selick probably feels like, well, this is a fucking slap to the face. And then he took that vibe and went even further with Coraline, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like you can give your credit to Burton like for like kicking it off, but
Literally.
then Selick perfected it with Coraline, right? In my opinion,
Yeah.
which is that vibe.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I agree.
So like I don't know. I don't
too.
feel like I feel like even though Tim Burton didn't do a ton, it was still like his vision, you know?
Yeah. Dude, I want that job. I'm like, here's like
Just
this,
a
this
vision.
little
Just
thing.
like, yo, here's my vision.
I have
Put
an
my
idea
name
for
on it.
something, and I'm gonna come back every once in a while and tell you what sucks and doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
God,
Piece of
dude.
trivia here. Piece of trivia. In 2001, Walt Disney Pictures began to consider producing a sequel, but rather than using stop motion, Disney wanted to use computer animation. Tim Burton convinced Disney to drop the idea, quote unquote. I was always very protective of Nightmare, not to do sequels or that kind of thing. Burton explained, you know, Jack visits Thanksgiving World or other kinds of things, just because I felt the movie had a purity to it and the people that like it.
Dude, that's amazing. Like thinking about it, like if they made a Thanksgiving movie, that'd be so whack. Like Halloween and Christmas are like the two biggest holidays. Valentine's Day, that would suck. Easter, that would suck.
Yeah. I guess that's a good thing that he did then. He's defending the honor
and computer animation that wouldn't even stand up like the stop motion today, because the stop motion, dude, because think about it, 2001, what's around that time for animation? One of the Toy Stories that doesn't look fucking good.
One of the Toy Stories.
Wow,
for
yeah,
sure.
You're right. Jesus.
Like it's gonna look like that. And it's and you know, this movie still holds up today. Like it really does.
Dude, I was watching this and I think this is like the best stop motion animation that I've seen ever. Like easily, dude. And it's the first fucking feature length one. That is insane, dude. It's blowing my fucking mind.
It was over 100,000 pictures.
I think
what it took to make.
Maybe it's, what is it, the art style or something? Because like Coraline is beautiful. All these other Leica movies are really nice, but like, why does this one look so good compared to those to me?
I think Kubo looks better. I'll say.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, but Kubo's like next level.
I think it's just the vibes work more with me. Maybe is what it is.
Yeah, the vibes in Nightmare Before Christmas and like the juxtaposition between the black, orange, and white versus the any color goes in Christmas Land. Like it's just. It just has a different vibe, and just like the general like solemnness of the story, like overall, like works better, and just like I don't know, just like his childlike mind when he goes to like the what's this, or when he's up in the tower, and he's just like doing experiments and. It's just the vibes. The vibes are immaculate.
Exactly.
For sure.
But I also feel like the 2D shit works so well with it. Like the ghostly shit, the smoke, the shadows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That adds so much to it.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I was wondering about that. How did they make Zero
transparent?
See-through. Yeah, transparent. How did they do that? Was all this shit like filmed back? Well, yeah, right. Filmed back in the day.
I don't know. Yeah, but Zero, I don't know.
I don't think this was. I think this was digital, at the time. I don't know that for sure, but I think it might have been.
I have no clue.
Zero's the one thing I'm stumped on.
Filmed on film.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter that much. I mean, they could have drawn him in.
But he is definitely like a thing, like a physical thing, right? I mean, maybe he's not. Or no?
Yeah. I don't think he's... Yeah, no, I don't think he's a physical thing. I think...
What? The drawing?
I think it's...
Post-production drawings,
so.
film.
That's
like
cool.
Maybe it was like Like, you know how Planet of the Apes did it, where the big fucking spoiler alert, Planet of the Apes spoilers, Planet spoilers. When they see the fucking Statue of Liberty, like that was glass on top of the camera.
Yeah,
you know,
but
like
this thing is
drawn on
transparent. How do you
stencil.
do that? How do you draw transparency?
Oh, that's like a matte. It's called a matte painting.
What is?
That technique where you draw on the glass.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's something. I found an article. Let me see what it says.
He's looking. He's reading, skimming.
Well, it's I don't know.
I'm trying to.
It says that it's called a beam splitter. This illusion is often referred to as Pepper's Ghost, which Disney uses Pepper's Ghost in a lot of the rides at Disneyland, which is how they basically generate what appear to be like holograms, but are basically projections into a mirror that land somewhere else. So maybe it's something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'd have to do more research there. But yeah, it was an interesting combination of those things.
This says the gross motion of Zero flying was usually done with a compact rig that had X, Y, and Z and rotation axes.
So it was physical. Right? There's no CG back
then.
I
don't know.
Is there?
No.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Maybe they like filter him out somehow.
Oh, okay. Jack's faithful ghost dog, Zero, had to be transparent and interact with Jack throughout the film. This was done by the use of beam splitter. When interaction was to be very tight, it required setting up a limbo background for Zero to one side of the camera and beam splitting him in. A large diffusion filter was placed between Zero and the beam splitter for his wraith-like glow. Glow. Sorry, I can't speak.
Dude, there's
interesting.
Every time stop motion, I'm like, this shit is the best. It's so insane.
Yeah. But yeah, now we know
a lot of technique.
Yeah, one of the things that stands out to me every time I watch this movie is it's one of the first shots where there's like a what are those things called? Scarecrows falling through the screen, but it's like very real. Like the motion is like this is a real thing. They're just like pulling through space in front of a camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just feels so specific to this movie for some reason. I don't know. Like it just
is it when he's dressed up as the Scarecrow?
And it's like falling through. Yeah, maybe whatever.
When he's the Scarecrow, he's on fire.
And it falls through, but it's like definitely not stop motion. It's like a full motion like puppet. They're falling through the fucking screen. It's like I don't know. It just sets up the fucking feel of this movie for me. And it doesn't make sense. Why? I don't know. I can't back that up.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but I love
like a shot.
I love stop motion so fucking much.
Yeah, I think we've all like established that we have just a little hard on for this shit.
And this is the best to me, dude. Like, oh my god, it's so smooth.
You're coming out and you're saying it. This is the definitive stop motion animation movie.
Yes.
Damn.
I think Coraline's a better movie, but like animation wise, this is insane.
Okay. That's
insane. Cool. But I think it's the style and the vibes and the way things happen fit better with the Halloween shit. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Box Trolls
SMH.
It's fine. Box Trolls is fine.
I've still never seen Box Trolls.
It's fine.
I haven't seen it since
it has
I first saw it.
The dude from IT Crowd.
Okay.
My dogs are going crazy outside my door. They're like... Anyways. The Doges.
Fine,
what else? So, what other vibes?
I wanted to talk more about the What's This segment, right? So something that happened, which I think is pretty common, is that they were making the movie and they were given 18 million initially. And the producer on the Disney side, who was tasked with, allocating the money correctly, had basically an impossible job because they didn't have a script, so they didn't know how many scenes there were. They didn't know how many things they had to make. They didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Well, you need to guess because like I need to fucking spend this money and we need to make this happen." And so basically they wrote out the storyboard and they like had some scenes, and What's This was the first thing that was shot.
Oh,
And so
really?
they once they finished that, they realized, oh yeah, no shot, we need more money. And so
Yeah.
she took this back to Disney and was basically like, here's and she screened it for all the Disney execs and was like, here's the movie. And it began, there was the What's This and everything else was storyboard drawings. And when it was over, everybody in the room loved it. They were like, holy shit, this is awesome. And she was like, I'm so glad because that movie that you just saw cost, $6
All the
million more
money
to
you
make
gave
or
us.
something. Yeah, it was like 24 million was the total that they came up with.
That's nuts.
And they were all just like, I don't know about that. And she was like, okay, well, if that's how you feel, then we're going to cut this, this, and this. And they were like, if you cut those things, the movie will suck. And she was like, yeah, I know. And they were just like, okay, here's the rest of the money. Like she like played it so well.
That's
Where,
good, dude.
That's
got
awesome.
made, But What's This was the first thing. And honestly, that's one of my favorite sequences of the movie.
Oh yeah.
From like a practical standpoint, one of my favorite things in this whole movie is when the train is rolling and the little smoke puffs are coming out and it's just like cotton ball. It looks so cool.
Love it.
It's so awesome. But okay, part 2 to that. It was like Giga Brain strategic play because it was the first thing, right? And it was in Christmas Town, so nothing looked
creepy as fuck.
Yeah. There was no question.
Give us the money, and then we do something crazy on the
It was
side.
like, here's this jolly place, and it was just not that in the end.
I love it, dude.
It was strategic. Yeah, and it worked.
Funny.
That's amazing, dude.
It's so good. That's so good.
So, Jay, you've played Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yep.
I feel like not a lot. I think the Nightmare Before Christmas worlds in the Kingdom Hearts games are the best parts of those games because the vibes are just so good. This movie, really? I don't know, man.
Wait, which? It's in the first one?
It's in 1 and 2 and 4. 3. I don't know. There's not a 4. Sorry.
I
think it's in both.
I didn't get that far in those games because I don't remember that at all.
I'm pretty sure it's in both, but
it's definitely in 1.
Yeah.
Because that's the only one I've beaten.
Like the costumes that Sora and Donald and Goofy wear, like everything about it is just so perfect. Like, I don't know,
the Keyblade is the best Keyblade in the game.
Yeah,
it's the Nightmare Before Christmas Keyblade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and like that's what I'm wondering. Are the vibes just that good that it translates to this shitty video game?
I think so.
And it's just amazing every time.
The vibes are that good that it translated to an entire generation of fucking people that identified with this movie.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Like, it's that crazy.
Even 2-year-olds love this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
We can live like Jack and Sally if we want.
Dude, oh my god. I did not know that was a reference to that.
Yes, dude. I barely found that out recently as well.
What? Yes. I thought those were just like generic names, but holy fuck.
Yeah, I did not realize that either. I found that out like maybe a year ago, and I was like, "Oh, duh, of course."
That's awesome.
How did I not ever notice that?
I know. I didn't either.
It makes total sense.
Don't feel bad, but I didn't notice. But
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess speaking of that, I feel like the romantic part of this movie was the weakest part. Why do they love each other? Jack doesn't give a fuck, and Sally totally loves him.
I think it's because he's like he's free spirited, and that's what Sally wants to be. But she still has like a better head on her shoulders because she's somehow sees a vision from the Lord Jesus or something about don't defile Christmas. that little tree burns.
Weed or whatever.
Where was that vision from? Who sent it? Was it Jesus?
Dude,
I don't know.
That's something that still confuses me, because that's in the little book that it has, and in the book they're like, Sally pulled a weed out of Jack's yard and it turned into a Christmas tree and then it caught on fire, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like burning bush-esque or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think like it was very one-sided. Like
it was weird.
I mean, she just wanted to be that free spirit.
Yeah.
So when to cut back to when the writer was doing a bunch of blow and didn't write anything, the Danny Elfman's girlfriend, who also wrote other things, stepped in and basically wrote the script for this. And so she took Sally's character and made it completely different. Apparently the original version of Sally is like a very like femme fatale character.
Oh.
And like the Sally that we got is like a very like normal,
innocent,
person. And the Henry Selick, the director, like really connected to Sally because he basically was like, this feels like my wife who... So backstory on Henry Selick, basically before this, he was directing like MTV bits before the shows on MTV would start. So it'd be like the little weird things that would be like MTV. Yeah. And that was like the extent of his career.
Really?
And so
and then he just
for him to get this, as like a thing was like huge. And he was basically like, I feel like Sally is like my wife who like, has this kind of blind love for Jack, who wants to be and go on to do like amazing things. And like, he's not really sure of, how that's going to happen or what it means to do that. And they're just kind of going with it. And she's like helping how she can or whatever. And he was like, when the movie popped off, like, I was like, holy shit, my wife is basically Sally. And I feel like, we went on to make this amazing thing, even though he doesn't get the credit for it necessarily. He still drew a lot of parallels to that. And it was interesting. Like, I think, you take a perspective of someone writing to be like, oh, this character sucks, like is underdeveloped, serves no purpose, I'm just going to change it. And then she becomes like a huge part of that. Like, how many emo girls were Sally for Halloween? You know what I mean? Like, all of them, right? At some point in their lives. It's nuts. But it was all like just like basically a weird coincidence.
That's crazy.
This entire movie. It's nuts.
Yeah, like
Danny Elfman happened to date her.
Yeah, what the fuck? This is crazy circumstances, and I'm happy that they happened.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't think it gets much better than that. Like, and I'm, again, to go back and give Tim Burton a little credit, like, to cock block the sequel, like, good on you,
Yeah.
That was the right call.
Yep.
Right. Dude, that's fucking crazy. So all that stuff about Selick's wife, like, was that all in that show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
fucking watch.
You're like the encyclopedia of this movie. It's kind of crazy.
From the one show.
3 to 6 times a week it's on, and I watched the show this morning again.
Takes up
I'd seen it before.
Chunk of his brain space every day.
It just wakes up.
Portion.
What's this?
What's this? Yeah. But she, her name is Caroline Thompson, I believe. She,
that's
in her words,
Henry Selick's wife. Sorry, girlfriend.
Yeah. No. Danny Elfman's ex. They dated and then they never did anything after. So ex-girlfriend. She was like, "Yeah, I saved this movie," and it's totally true. Like, there was
it was
script.
Elfman's. It wasn't Selick's wife.
No, but
okay, my bad.
But Selick drew parallels to his wife, Sally.
Okay, sorry, yeah. Okay.
In this, like, wanting to be more than an MTV in between.
Dude, it's like George Lucas's wife saved everything and made it something really good.
Yeah, in the edit, right? Is that how it goes?
Movies saved in the edit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And there was a lot of like there was a lot more drama there with like, she wrote this thing this way and this person didn't like it, whatever. And like Henry Selick changed a lot of things and was just basically like, because this was her first kind of movie, and she, he was basically like, when you're shooting a thing, it's not, what comes out the other end is not the thing that was written originally. Like things always change as you're shooting. Yeah. And she just hadn't had that experience yet. And so there was like a lot of offending and all this and that. And even when Tim Burton kicked the hole in the wall, she was like, I have this idea for an ending that I think could be really cool. And he like read it and then like went and destroyed an editing machine. Yeah, and was just like, no, this is trash. Like, so he might be
bro,
kind
just
of a
say that.
Person.
Relax.
Yeah, seriously.
Dude.
But in the end, it got made.
It came together.
Yeah.
In the last quarter or whatever football reference I'm trying to make. Dude, something interesting that I realized this time watching was Sally's voice actress, Catherine O'Hara. You might know as the mom in Schitt's Creek.
Wow.
And the mom in Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a very good singer. She sung and talked all the parts, I think. She's like actually a singer or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you seen Schitt's Creek, James?
Totally different now. I have not. No, my parents watch it.
It's pretty fucking funny. But yeah, she's in that.
Oh, dude, Home Alone's so good. I watched it the other day. Not to talk about it, but shit, I was like, this is like.
If you want to hear James's thoughts, we did that already.
What?
We did that already. If you want to hear James's thoughts, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If you want to hear me, I don't even know what score I gave it, but I feel like I didn't give it a good enough score. The way I watched it the other day, I was like, wow.
Oh, she's in Beetlejuice too. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Yes, and the original, the Coke-driven writer was the guy that wrote Beetlejuice. That's where that connection was made.
Oh, that's why it's fucking weird ass movie, huh?
Oh, Michael McDowell is his name, not McDonald, which I think
Michael McDowell.
Yeah, I think he died.
American race car driver. Okay.
Coke. From
definitely not cocaine. The right
guy. Yeah.
And I'm Beetlejuice. Sorry, Jordan's typo. Funny.
Yeah, Catherine Harris, she's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so another just real quick thing. Basically, the friend of a friend from Danny Elfman to Tim Burton was Paul Rubens, who you may know as Pee Wee Herman.
Okay.
He was the guy that played
Danny Elfman did that movie too, didn't he?
Yes,
that's a good-ass movie, bro.
Yeah, they were
Pee Wee Herman's not his name?
No.
His name is Paul Rubens with an S.
It's kind of crazy.
That came out in '85. Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Didn't Danny Elfman
85.
do that?
9 years old.
Yes, Danny Elfman did the music for that.
Dude, that timeline is fucked now. There's no way.
The timeline is super fucked.
Dude, that movie's actually really good. Like it's like, oh, Pee Wee, lol, what the fuck? It's actually so funny. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in so long, but that's a Tim Burton directed by movie.
Tim Burton's pretty cool when you think about it. Does some good shit.
Yeah, he's definitely weird, which I'm in for that.
Speaking of the Batman movie he did, have you guys seen that at all recently?
Fuck yeah. Oh, not recently.
It is the weirdest movie I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like, almost straight up. It's so fucking weird, dude. Jack Nicholson.
Oh, is it Jack? Does he do the Arnold Schwarzenegger one too?
No.
He did he did Batman in '89, where Jack Nicholson's the Joker, Michael Keaton is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Then he did Batman Returns, where Danny DeVito plays the Penguin, and Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman. And that movie, because I loved Batman when I was young. And so my parents were like, yeah, you can watch Batman, whatever. So I watched Batman Returns as a child, and like the intro shot is Michelle Pfeiffer shoving like a bunch of stuffed animals into a garbage disposal and like turning it on and it going everywhere. And as like a like whatever, 7-year-old or whatever.
Your own
I was like, what the
animals.
fuck? Yeah, I was like, this is not okay. So I didn't watch it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, so I did it anyways. I did it myself. Dude,
But I
which one's
loved
the
those
Riddler?
movies.
Jim Carrey?
Those are
Yeah,
the later
Jim
ones
Carrey's
with
a
George
Riddler.
Clooney.
Yeah, those are the Clooney Batmans.
Man.
I
Those
like
are
George Clooney
fucking
the best as
hilarious,
Batman.
actually. Like, they're bad, but they're so funny.
So Keaton's with
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And anyways, you were saying, Taryn, it's weird as shit. What
It's
else?
the weirdest movie I've ever fucking seen. That's all. Tim Burton's
Huh.
weird as fuck. I guess. Every movie I've seen
Yeah.
from him is. What the fuck?
Yeah. He did the new Dumbo, which was not that good.
Not great.
Weird.
But
Didn't he
Not
do
great.
that movie Alonso always tells us to watch?
Ed Wood.
Ed
Yeah, I've
Wood.
never seen it.
At this point, I'm not watching it just to fuck with Alonso.
I would like to see it. I'm curious because Ed Wood was a real person. you know?
Yeah.
I want to see like a normal real life movie that Tim Burton makes. I guess that's what would be interesting about it.
There's not many of those. I would maybe say there's not any of those at this point.
Yeah.
They're all just weird. But like, I don't know. That's cool. Like, I think that he's got a style, and it works. And if you tried to do something like him, you'd probably be labeled as a copycat, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
Like, he's
rare.
carved that out.
Yeah.
Which sucks for like someone like Selick.
Poor guy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, when we all thought Coraline was a Tim Burton movie, he's probably like, God damn it, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We know now. We're educated now.
Yeah.
We know.
We're
that.
educated.
Henry Selick is the GOAT. Tim Burton wishes he was the GOAT.
I know.
And that's something that he said was that, he was tasked to make the movie look like a Tim Burton movie.
Mhm.
But he was like, yeah, but I make things that also look similar, but like he'll never get that.
That sucks.
He had made things prior, right, that
Yeah.
looked that way, and that's just... And so he did James the Giant Peach, which that's one of my favorites, especially growing up.
Yeah.
There's so many cool things in that, and Henry Selick, but everybody just associates it with Tim Burton, and
Mhm.
that's just how it goes,
It's got to be the worst.
Oh, and Randy Newman did the music. Look at that.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
James in the Giant Peach.
Yeah. Okay. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts here?
I'm all out of thoughts, bro.
Helena Bonham Carter and Tim Burton are not together as of 2014.
Wow.
Oh.
How old is Tim Burton? Are you on that page? Can you tell me?
63. 63.
Not as-
63.
Not bad. Not bad.
Does he have anything on the horizon?
Nope, after the fucking disgrace that Dumbo was.
He got his paycheck. He's chilling.
Yeah,
He
he's
bought an island and fucking exited humanity.
nothing. I don't know.
Wow. That's
I don't
crazy,
think
actually.
so.
Michael Keaton was in that fucking movie too, dude. And Danny DeVito. Holy shit.
Dumbo?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Did you see it?
Mm-mm.
It's
Apparently-
not worth your time.
Dumbo was my favorite movie of all time when I was a kid. I don't remember this.
Oh,
Apparently, I watched it
then
over and
it's-
over again.
Especially not worth your time.
I don't know. You don't even know what happens in Dumbo. All I hear is there's racist crows. That's all I know.
Oh yeah.
All right,
The
so,
Disney.
so the man behind it all, Henry Selick,
Mm-hmm.
he's got 2 movies coming out.
What?
2022, he's got Wendell and Wild,
Okay.
an upcoming American stop motion animation, dark fantasy comedy horror film
Jesus
with
Christ.
Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele.
Oh!
What? Okay.
Oh, released on Netflix 2022. Okay,
I'm
I'm in
so
for that.
Is it
big,
Leica?
you don't
Is it
have-
Leica?
it is a
Monkey Paw.
Monkey Paw Netflix.
Oh,
animation.
that's
Oh,
Jordan,
Jordan
Peele's
Peele's
thing.
thing,
yeah.
Okay, what was
Yeah,
the other one?
so-
You said there's another one?
And number 2 is Little Nightmares.
The
which
game?
is-
From the
a
game?
video game.
Did we get a movie out of that?
Yes. No.
Holy shit.
He's a director on the game. Sorry.
Henry Selick is?
Yes.
That is fucking awesome.
He is a director on the game.
That makes me want to play it even more.
Wait, it says it's a TV series that's going to come out.
Okay, yeah. That makes more sense.
A television adaptation of Little Nightmares.
Wow.
The series will also involve the Russo brothers.
Oh, it does say TV series.
The Russo brothers are what?
They're going to be a part of the TV series.
Wow.
That
feels good for that little indie studio. Jesus Christ. Amazing.
And the pilot will be directed by Henry Selick. Wow.
That is awesome.
The Russo brothers.
Was it the
bunch of Marvel.
They did Endgame.
Oh, gross. Just kidding.
Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War,
They did
Endgame.
all the good ones.
Gross. They did all the good ones.
I'm like, all right, they did all the good ones. We're good.
They did Arrested Development, Community.
Yeah, they were Community guys. Yeah.
I'm on board.
Dude, that makes me feel so good. That's the best news I've heard all day.
Yeah.
That indie studio is making a goddamn TV show with some big ass names.
So good shit on the horizon.
And of Little Nightmares, which I've never played, but I've always wanted to.
Same. I was gonna play it, but there's no platinum, so I didn't want to play it on the PlayStation.
Oh my god.
Trophies are for fools.
I know.
Trophy whore.
I know.
Okay. There's nothing else I need to say.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Besides rate this bitch.
Who wants to go?
James is eager, dude. He's like, let's
I'll
rate this
I'll
bitch.
take it. I'll take the steed. Yeah, this movie is like interesting to come back to. I know you don't have the privilege of doing that, Jay, because you come back every day.
Never left.
I've probably had at least 3 years like without seeing it. So coming back to it just a little bit, kind of getting in that quarter life crisis mode of your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. It hits different, which is like
You've grown so tired of the same old thing. Huh?
Yeah. I'll cheers to that shit. It just hits differently, which is like so weird because it's like this is stereotypically like loved by all edgy teenage girls. And it's just like, damn, y'all haven't even lived life. You haven't even like actually hit the spot where like
the really
living does get tiring. Yeah, I'm like, they're not as emo as I am. Dude. Yeah, I'm just gonna call them out, dude.
And I don't even wear sleeves with whole thumbs or whole.
You don't even know pain. As I show them my wrists, you don't know pain.
Jesus Christ!
Okay. Got my wrist.
There you go. Yep.
Whole thumbs.
That's
New
your
Mexico
fucking
orthopedic.
Good guy.
hoodie sleeve, bro.
But like, it's so funny that like it just resonates with different audiences like throughout your life. Like it just hits different, and I think that's like obviously indicative of something that just can stand the test of time. The animation is like just it's good. It's top tier. I can't believe that it was the first feature length. That's seems wrong, but I guess I don't know. Jay's the walking encyclopedia for this movie.
Look,
so
man,
I'm gonna
they said it
you.
like they said it like 7 times on the show, so I think it's true, but maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Don't trust Netflix.
The music is fucking really good. I think you can feel that the music was written first, like, because that's what like really pushes the story forward, and it just kind of gives the whole wonder and awe of just both worlds, which is I don't know, but I think I agree with Taryn. Like it kind of falls a little bit with like the one-sided blind love, which I don't know. After hearing Selick talking about his wife and saying, "Oh, this is the kind of ride or die that you need to just be there with you," it kind of brings it back to me. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this isn't that bad. It's just kind of how you perceive it at the time of your life, which is just weird. Which is weird about this movie. But the songs are bangers. Dude, we didn't even talk about like the set design of like Oogie Boogie's like casino. I just love that. I just love the roulette table, slot machines, the dice, the cards, all that stuff. Like, dude, that probably took forever to film, but yeah, all the stuff's good. I think it's a classic. It's a classic. Whether or not you think it's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie, by the way, it was released in October
Oh,
on the
shit.
29th. So
Oh,
if that says anything about whether they believe it's a Christmas or a Halloween movie,
That's fair.
I don't know. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I don't think it gets completely right there, but I'm like at an 8.8 for this one. I really love this movie. it's
8.8.
it's really great. Yeah, I'm not sure that it's over the hill for me, but I could watch this all the time. So you're lucky, Jay. You get to watch it.
Yeah, could you though?
I don't know, but
every time that we watch it, I'll text you and you can throw it on and we'll see.
I'm just gonna like,
bro, he just watched it.
Just for 1 week of your life.
Yeah. All right, 8.8 from James. Taryn, how you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Nice.
You can go.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll go last.
Yeah, dude, thinking about it, I'm like, fuck, this movie is a classic. It's so good, all this shit. And I'm like, but is it better than Coraline? I don't need to make this comparison, but my mind jumps to it.
I know you don't. Mine does too.
And I'm like,
that's a tough comparison.
I don't know. Watching Coraline was a lot more, I mean, that was the first time I've ever seen it, so it was a lot more exciting watching it.
Dude, but we had these crazy conversations about like the deep depths and sadness of your life with both movies, which is weird.
That's true.
Tim Burton
Also, keep in mind that Coraline came out like 16 years later.
No, true. Shit. That's what's crazy is I feel like this movie's animation and visuals are just unmatched. Even though Coraline is way later, probably a better movie. I think this movie, even though I can't top the score I gave Coraline with this movie. I feel like it's better, which is stupid as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like, the songs are actually good. Like, every time I watch a Disney movie now, I'm like, oh my god, they're musicals. And then it's just like, oh, it's this song. Oh my god. Like, whatever. Like, why is everyone singing? It's so annoying. And then this movie, I'm like, fuck yeah, these songs are fucking awesome and all this shit. The set design, like you were saying, is so fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
And you get to walk around in it, Kingdom Hearts.
Dude, Sandy Claus, man.
Sandy Claus.
And then eventually he's just like Santa Claus. It's just like,
you don't have claws.
They like have no idea of like what's actually like a part of that world.
Yeah.
Like it's all distorted. It's so weird.
Like naivety of Jack through all the Christmas stuff is just so fucking wholesome and good. Like I just love watching him go through the Christmas town. Like, what is going on? Like, look at all this. And then he puts the lights in his eyes or whatever. Like, that shit is iconic in my brain.
That's so perfect. That's one of the best.
Oh, man. Yeah. There's not much to not like about this movie, except, I don't know, like, maybe I've just seen it a bunch of times. Maybe it's just old news at this point. But I was just, like, kind of whatever watching it. But it's a good-ass movie, dude. I don't know what to say right now. The performances are so good, dude. I can't believe Danny Elfman. I forgot he was in a band, so I was like, oh, he's really good at this.
Hey, Oingo Boingo has some hits, man.
I have a vinyl
There's some
of
good
them.
shit in there.
I don't know why.
Really?
It came in like a box of 80s hair metal vinyls. It's just in there, so that's why I have it.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, bring it over.
I'll listen
Throw
to
it
on. Yeah, Danny Elfman is amazing. He did Spider-Man, dude. I love that shit. You know, feels bad about all the Tim Burton shit. I don't know, whatever. He didn't do shit, but
it feels bad. But like I don't know, we press F's to pay the respects, but we know in our hearts.
Moving on, like, it's fine.
Yeah,
we get it, but I don't know. This movie is just iconic. That's all I gotta say. I don't know what the fuck I'll say. It's like an 8.7.
Wow, you guys are low, man.
That's what's crazy, dude. That's why I'm like, Coraline was easily a Hall of Famer, and this is like, why isn't this? It's blowing my own mind.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just waiting for somebody to just absolutely push me, give me 2.2 to just push it over. I don't know.
I just feel like this viewing specifically was just like, it was fine. You know what I mean? Like this viewing specifically, I feel like is what brought it so low. I was just like, at least it's 80 minutes.
Yeah, that's
I don't even look at the time hardly ever anymore. Just put it on, sit there.
at least it's 80 minutes. That's bad.
That's
bad.
what I'm saying. This viewing specifically is why I feel so weirdly bad about it.
You went in.
That's interesting.
You went in negatively, dude.
I did. Like, it's Saturday morning. I gotta watch a fucking movie.
You. You're just like.
I think that maybe this is something that will come back and dig its sandy claws into you at a later point in your life.
My child is obsessed.
I hope it will.
Hopefully.
I hope it will. Because I think that for me, this movie is very. I don't know. I feel Jack on many levels in like that. It's this kind of renaissance of like I don't want to do what I do now, which is the biggest problem that I have with this movie, right? Which is like that. But
that
you're
he goes back to
it so that
fine.
you must. Yeah, that you must do it forever.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Never.
And that's what's sad. That's what I don't know if that makes it a bad movie for me, but that turns me off because it makes my future feel bleak, right?
Yeah,
yeah, because like,
100%.
And I don't want to see that in the mirror.
Yeah, because I feel like you had
I don't know.
you had a good like. Did you feel this or this? But then it's like, well, the main character felt this specific thing, so you kind of leave it feeling that when you could feel the other way. That sucks.
I'm not happy for Jack at the end, really.
Yeah, I would agree with
happy.
that.
I'm okay with that.
I don't think that I would be happy for him. Well, if he's happy, whatever. But maybe it's
like
a fake
for how
happiness,
long? Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
1 more year.
He's immortal, dude.
He's immortal.
He's already dead, right? He can't die again.
Hang on, wake up, dead.
Since I am dead, I will take off my head to cite Shakespearean quotations. Yeah, there's a lot of great lines in the songs. Like the songs are so well done that I don't know if in my mind, honestly, I don't even consider this a musical because I like it so much and I like the music so much that like
musical has a bad connotation or something.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not a fan of musicals, quote unquote. And so
it pushes the narrative so well. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't,
exactly.
Like whereas like fucking Let It Go, it's just like,
exactly.
Fucking okay, bro.
I think that's like a side effect of they started with the music, right? And that's like powerful.
They're
like
telling
that's
the story
what's driving the story.
Songs, dude, it's so good.
Exactly.
Man,
that's
maybe
where
if you
I'm
said
like,
this earlier.
Bro, I've been saying it. I've been talking, dude.
But I'm forgetting.
James, we run this shit. You want to change it? Change it, bro.
No.
Yeah.
Once you lock in, you lock in.
All right. Hey, I'll make an exception. Change it up.
Give it a 10, dude, and I think it'll push it over.
Yeah, the first 10 from one of us four.
Yeah, one of the original cast members. Yeah. No.
I think that I think that there's a lot of like, for me, there's a lot of like, I relate to Jack on a level of like, we started this, Film Fumblers, the podcast, as like I don't even know why, or like, it just like happened one day. We were like, let's go watch Avengers Endgame.
We all watched
it,
right?
A 4-hour podcast.
It was longer than the movie.
But we're fast approaching like 100 episodes, and that's crazy. And I have not been as involved as of late, as I'm sure people have noticed. Because
our viewers have been just
tanking.
Thanks, Jay.
Sorry.
Thanks, Jay.
With Jay gone, or the views are tanking.
No, it's no. You guys are great. You guys are great. It's been a experience to be a fan and a listener. And I've liked it. But all that to say that like I think that on some level I connect with Jack, and like the decision for me to not be as involved with the podcast, which I know has not been like publicly talked about as much. It was hard, because I like to do this. I think it's very fun, and I've had a great time today. I think this has been a very fun conversation to have, and I know that kind of dominated it because I watched the series on Netflix called
Which was
Movies That
good,
Made
which
Us.
is good.
And also the
I
movie
mean,
35 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the movie a lot.
Carry me, daddy.
No, I love this. I do love this, and I, you know, not only do I want everybody listening to know, but also you guys to know that I do love this. I love talking about this shit.
Right.
It's just time, you know. Time, it's limited, and you know, I think I want to do different things, and I want to do more things, and Jack wants to do more things, and he wants to do different things, and
you're gonna fail and just come right back to us. Is that the just like the movie?
Hey, if that's
I'm Sally and I see the burning bush, brother. It's a bad idea. And see, that's why this is like so bleak. Because
yeah, I
it's
know.
Like,
I didn't think about that. You fucked me up,
it's
James.
It's such a fucked up
Hold
ass,
on,
like,
though. Hold
idea.
on. Listen to this, then.
Okay.
If failure means that I come back and do this full time, like, that's pretty good for me. That's a good ending for
Just
me.
like Jack.
Okay.
Just
You know?
like Jack.
Like,
Ew, fuck
I'm in for that. You know? No, it's
Yeah.
been a lot of fun. I relate to Jack, I think, on those levels, and Henry Selick by extension of like, you know, wanting to strive for more, not just do the MTV things and do
then
these
just
films, and then go on to make really good films that have made it into the fucking Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
here,
the coveted
like,
Fumbler's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I love that, and you know, I think it's hard for me to rate this appropriately because I love a lot of aspects of this movie. I love the music, I love the animation, I love the story, I love the juxtaposition of these two seemingly opposite, you know, sides of people that are not really that different in reality, and that could 100% coexist and be fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think I try to implement that in my life daily, is like, how can I bridge the gap between people that feel on the outside with people who are kind of more connected to, you know, normal quote unquote shit, whatever that means now, because it's all bullshit, I feel, right? But like, people are not so different, and you know, everybody has a place, and everybody can take their place and make a big difference and get along and whatever. And some people take their place to another level, which Tim Burton does. Like, he, you know, creates this IP that does kind of elevate to another place. And even though he wasn't so involved in this, like, if it wasn't for him, none of this would exist. And I get that.
Right.
But, you know, Henry Selick, for the record, just carries the torch across the finish line, right?
Yeah.
For me, this movie is mainly because Sophia likes it a lot. Jordan in the chest is 10. You won't. Yeah, I won't. 10, I won't. But it is like a very high 9 for me. It's like a 9.7. That feels good for
Who's
me.
got the calculator out?
Yeah.
I do.
I do too. Which brings us to a 9.06.
No way, dude!
I'll take it, dude. I'll take it.
Hall of Fame, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Because that's what
not be
Thank you,
appropriate
Sophia.
if that didn't happen.
Thank you.
Dude, honestly, I was just like waiting the trigger. I was like, give me any reason to give me 2, because I came in with a 9.8 and I was like, just give me, or not 9.8.
Oh,
sorry.
We brought you down that much.
Yeah. You guys brought me down a whole point. I was just like waiting, and I don't know, but I think just like the whole like idea that what's the worst that could happen. I think the most beautiful thing about this is that it's about taking steps out of your comfort zone when you're feeling like shit and you just want a change.
Yeah.
And what's the worst that could happen is you fail. And at least you won't like look back on your life and say, well, at least I didn't try, which I guess is like the big rounding idea. And I don't know,
that
went over my head.
Podcast.
Yeah.
And that's the worst of it.
Yeah. And I don't know, and that went over my head, and so I think that like made me feel like that this is just more just sad. It's not the happy ending I want.
Yeah, dude.
Even though I like the sad shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I felt bad giving it under a 9.
Yeah.
I felt bad giving it under a 9, and then now that it's over a 9 on an average, I'm very happy. I'm like, thanks. I fucked up, and you brought me through. Like I was Tim Burton, and you were Henry Selick. I don't know.
Hey man,
carried me through.
Whatever needs to happen.
Carry the torch. Anyways, yeah, we gave this. What is it? A 9.0?
Yep.
9.06, but
straight up 9.0.
9.0 is good.
We would like to know what you guys think. Thank you guys for
How
being
did this
here.
affect your teen years? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Were you obsessed with this shit, or did you hate this shit? But when you rewatched it, did you have a new appreciation for it? I think that's how I felt. But I mean, I watched it like a bunch of times after high school, middle school days, back when I was a hater. But yeah, we're here. This is going to the Hall of Fame, baby. That's crazy.
Hall of Fame.
How many stop motions is that? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah. Oh God, dude.
A lot.
We are the stop motion fumblers. Did Kubo? I don't think Kubo made it, but it was.
It didn't make it. That's a crime. I'm sorry.
I don't think it did. I don't even think I gave it a 9. I think I gave it high 8s. But yeah, we love animations here, and we don't care who knows. But thanks for joining us this week. Catch you guys later. Cheers.
Yeah, Spider-Man next
week. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man. Spooter.
Not necessarily holiday related, but maybe.
But probably
pretty good.
Our most anticipated movie of the year, I think. For me, I'm like, yeah. Even though once the Spider-Verse trailer dropped, I was like, actually, who cares about?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, this is real love. It was that meme where it was the Spider-Man live action up front, and then and then it was a live action checking out the or the animated.
So yeah, good luck getting tickets. We'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah. I might just have to watch it like I don't know, like at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday or something.
Yeah.
Let me know.
I'm down to see it.
We'll see. I kind of want to go to Flicks though, dude. I love Flicks.
They're open now. Let's do it.
Dude. Fuck.
Love Flicks. Be right back.
Be right back. End it, bro. End it.
Be right back. Okay. Filmfumblers.com for all of our socials. Especially Instagram, which is like the most active thing we're on.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. I was very glad to be back for this one. Love you guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Jay.
See you in the next one. Spider-Man No Way Home. Cheers.
Cheers.